Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Ozcast.
It can be lonely at the top. We all know what it's like to lead and own a business and wanting to scale, but finding yourself at a glass ceiling. That is where the power of collaboration and connection comes in. Hi, I'm Natasha Milani. I'm an expert at helping businesses and business owners harness the power of collaboration to connect, scale and grow. I am passionate about collaboration. I believe that no one executes alone. We all do better when we do it together. Welcome to this Power of Collaboration podcast. It's wonderful to have you here. I hope you get the inspiration and information you need to harness the power of collaboration to break through your glass ceilings. Today, I welcome Stan Kontos, co-founder of Star Pharmacy Group and Soul Results. We're going to talk a bit more about Soul Results in a minute. Welcome, Stan.
Thank you, Natasha, and hello to everybody out there.
So, Stan, let's just talk about a little bit of background. Who is Stan? Talk about Star Pharmacy Group and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I was born and raised here in South Australia, Natasha, and, we lived in a low socioeconomic life when we were small. We didn't have much, but we were a loving family. And education was everything, and that was impregnated in me by my parents. So I got educated and got into uni and finished as a pharmacist with a degree and worked as a pharmacist. And that led, after a few years, to buying my first pharmacy back in 1991 with my partner, Peter, and worked a small business for a number of years before we looked at branching out further.
So you became a pharmacist, so there was a technical skill there.
That's right.
Now, just tell me, how many pharmacies in your group now?
In our group, we've got a number of partners. So we've got pharmacies in SA, New South Wales and Queensland, and we've got 59 at the moment. So, and that's spread out across the country. Just
tell us how the story evolved from one, your own, and then it expanded.
I think it's I never had the desire to expand. I was just happy to get into business and have one business, and I think it was about the 7-year itch where I thought, wouldn't it be great to run another business? And it wasn't easy, but eventually we bought another business and then ran that. And then I learnt about systemising, because you can't be running two businesses 100%. You just don't have the time. So I learned about the E-Myth, and I learned about systemising a business. I learnt, I had all the hats, the HR hat, the IT hat, the BDM hat, every hat you could think of, and ran that second business. And then, of course, as the years went by and we grew the number of businesses, I then had to relinquish each hat so that because you just can't do it all and you get better people. So I learnt that you alone can do it, but you cannot do it alone. And I learnt that always surround yourself with better people than yourself. And also equally, I also learnt the value of getting into a forum where there's other business people, so you're not lonely at the top, and you can collaborate and learn from others.
One of my my opening line in this podcast was, "It can be lonely at the top," and you just said it then. Collaboration is all about surrounding yourself with the right people, good people, smarter people, as you say. Your business model actually is very collaborative. It is a partnership, isn't it?
It is. Each store has an owner in it, or a couple of partners, and so we promote collaboration, we promote partnership in the group, and then we have a head office that services all the businesses and provides all the support from accounting and tax all the way to BDM and buying and HR and all the services, so that it makes it easier on the owners in the store.
And you mentioned that you wore all the hats. You were HR, business development.
Payroll as well.
Payroll. How did you start to step away from some of those roles?
Well, as you grow, what I realised was you have to bring the resources on before you grow. Because otherwise you can't grow. So a lot of people think, let me grow first, get the money, then I'll pay for the resources. So I always found you have to pay for the resources up front, then you grow. And so each time we decided that we're going to liberate a particular function, we'd obviously hire a person to do that function. It would cost us money. Money that was out of our own personal profits. But then that allowed us to free up time, so then we can grow the business or the businesses or the services we offer, which then helped fund the extra resources. So we do it that way. We put resources on first, and then entrepreneurially fund it.
Great insight, thank you. You mentioned E-Myth. Can we just expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I love the E-Myth, Michael Gerber. Great book. And I really had no idea, because I didn't come from a business background. So when I read it, it was just an aha moment to systemize your business and create checklists and then train your staff and into how to create this consistency, and not just systems, but even the system of serving customers, let alone the system of ordering or the system of running the back end of the business. So E-Myth taught me that, if you can systemize business, you can eventually walk away from it or spend less time running the business.
And our listeners love knowing about which books to read.
Yes.
And E-Myth definitely it's a classic.
It is a classic, and it's never aging.
Have you got another book you'd recommend out of interest?
The other one, Natasha, I've got many books, and I could talk for a while about books, but one of them, because I spent 2 years and I'd read 200 books just to update my knowledge on personal development, spiritual development, business, finances, everything. So, and another book that was great was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and I thought that was amazing. There's a number of things in there which we need to do to succeed, and one of them was masterminding or collaboration was a key chapter in that book about the importance of being harmonious with those around you and working together with them to create an outcome where everybody benefits.
I love that. And what do you think are the core elements to being harmonious? For me, trust is that relationship is critically important. And you even touched on spiritual development, which
yes.
is also a personal interest of mine.
Yes.
Well, how does that all come together? What tips have you got for those listening that personal development side?
I think I look at it as personal is the way we develop our mind, and spiritual is the way we develop our heart. Whether we can exude peace and joy and just naturally without really having to have anything happen. And if you can get to that state where you can naturally be peaceful and joyful and positive, then that rubs off really well on the people you work with, and that creates a more harmonious relationship. So in order to have a harmonious relationship, you've got to be harmonious within.
No truer words were said, and Stan, I'll be honest, every time I'm around you, I feel that energy that exudes from you.
Oh, thank you.
So it's quite tangible in that respect.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Soul Results,
Yeah.
because first of all, what is Soul Results and how did it evolve?
Back in over 20 years ago now, I had the privilege of finding the value of a business coach. I had no idea, and I got my very first business coach, and he helped me change my thinking, read certain books, put systems in the business. And then I began going to courses as well, courses on personal development, courses on real estate, courses on business, courses on marketing. So I was growing internally in the way I think and the way I behave, and I attribute that to the people that I met, the coach that I had, the seminars I went to, and it transformed my life such that my personal and professional life began to change in front of my very eyes. And it created more success in life. And how you view success, I view it as a combination of achievement and fulfillment. And then I thought, wow, this is great. I just love to share it with others. And part of that journey was going and meeting industry leaders and talking to them and asking them about their success and how they've done it. And I learned from them. And so then we launched Soul Results back in 2003, I think it was. And the purpose of it, and it's still the same, is really to be a community contribution business where we give back to the community through, we may interview industry leaders, we may provide some coaching, we might run a 2-day, in September we normally run a 2-day retreat, we do all sorts of things, a masterclass, and it's purely about giving back and helping others transform their life and their business as well. So it's very much about personal and professional development.
And again, there is a collaboration element
Absolutely.
to that, because you're bringing in industry leaders,
Yeah.
Sharing and learning together.
Yeah, definitely. And they love it because they get to share their story, and the audience loves it because they hear, 30 or 40 years of the journey condensed into a 40-minute interview. And so everybody benefits, and then they get to speak to the industry leader and thank him and ask for advice. So it's a great morning.
So Stan, focusing on collaboration, what other examples have you seen, and what does collaboration mean to you as a business owner and leader?
Collaboration is multifaceted. You collaborate if you have a business partner. You collaborate with the key people that you work with. You collaborate with consultants. You collaborate with other business people there's no conflict of interest. So collaboration is the key to new ideas. Collaboration is the key to getting leads or getting information about how to do better. So, I don't, like I said earlier, it's really sometimes I look at sole traders and I just wish they could do one thing, and that's just collaborate more, because that would get them out of the trap of working so hard and not being able to grow their business, and not be able to have the business help their life, rather their business becomes their life. So I think collaboration brings, it's basically this big pot of knowledge and experience that everyone shares, and it's mutual benefit.
That's right. Mutual benefit is critical. You said collaboration leads to new ideas. Have you got some examples of where collaboration has led to a new idea or a new outcome in your business?
Over the years, we've had to implement some changes in the business to improve it or to grow it or to make it more profitable. So, I may collaborate with another business owner and then they tell me about a tender process they used with banks in order to drive down their interest rates. And so then I take on that idea and then we put it into our business, and then we create a tender process, and that drives down our costs, and we get a better deal. So that's a typical example. But if I didn't collaborate with this other business person and not go for a Mount Lofty walk with him, then I would never have known that. So, but lots of those situations, yeah.
What a great example. Can we just talk about reversing back to when you had that 7-year itch? You talked about the fact that you then wanted to expand the business. I always like to touch on strategy. How defined was your strategy at that time for growth? What does it look like? Was it on a page that you said, I want one pharmacy and we'll get another one? Or did you go, right, well, I'm going to get another one and then I've got a plan to get another 5 and this is how we're going to do it? What did that look like back then?
I think back then it was a very immature process of strategy. It was really just an idea that you get excited and you want to pursue. So it's very focused on one thing. Get that one more business. But it's since evolved a lot. Even my goal setting back then was very much around writing it down once and then not even looking at it for the rest of the year. Whereas now, strategy, we have strategic planning days and strategic planning documents and reviews at board meetings and so forth. It's very, very structured. And then even my personal goal setting is I have key goals that I look at every day or two and continually work towards them and make sure every quarter I've achieved what I want to achieve. So it has evolved a lot over the years. I just wish I knew that earlier, because it would have accelerated growth and you'd get to point A to point B a lot quicker. So my journey took a lot longer than it should have. But with knowing this now, some of the younger entrepreneurs should adopt a really good goal setting process for themselves and a really good strategic planning and execution process for their business.
Great practical tip there, because I think sometimes it can be an overwhelming process.
Yeah.
And as you get to a certain size and scale, it starts to become more formal.
Yes.
But what you're really suggesting is try and make it a little bit more formal earlier.
Absolutely, yeah, because it works. It's like anything. The more you know your goal, the more you look at it, the more you understand the steps and measure the execution of it, the quicker you're going to achieve it.
Great insights there. Thank you, Stan. And now you're the executive chairman of Star Pharmacy Group.
Yep.
You've got CEOs and staff. How many people have you got in the business?
I've got a total of about, it'd be around that 800 staff mark.
800 staff.
Yeah. So it includes about 40 mark in our head office. So it's quite a responsibility, a lot of staff to take care of and keep on board. But it's necessary for the size we are.
Just an insight into culture of an organisation, given the size and scale of your business. How do you manage culture within the organisation?
Yeah, culture is an interesting thing. We one of the things we do with any new manager that comes in the group, we've got a soul coach that coaches them and helps them develop mindset, set goals, create some purpose in their life. So we think that's important for culture. We've got an annual retreat we bring key managers to. We've got a couple of road shows where we get together with people in different states. We've got end-of-year big Christmas parties, which thankfully are coming back on board this year. And also it's really what the culture filters from the top down. So it's myself, my partner Peter, our CEO, we're always focused on being the best version we can possibly be. So it's always about treating every employee well and greeting them and talking to them and inquiring how they're going and how can things be better. So it's treating people the way you'd love to be treated, and that filters, we hope, from the top down. So ultimately, culture is what happens when you're not there. And so we hope that I get comments that when people pop into our stores that, you know, really happy staff and a really nice culture. Yeah.
It's been a privilege having your CEO, David Clark, as part of the SA Leaders Network, or he still is.
Yes.
And that leads to that shared values that you and I have stand around supporting your people. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Offering them all the coaching and the leadership and the development.
Yep. We've got mentoring programs inside the group as well, where there's ongoing monthly mentoring and each manager with their goals and some accountability. And that's really important to help them grow. But yeah, we're big on developing people.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing those insights, Dan. Have you got any last sort of practical advice you'd like to leave our listeners with, bearing in mind that they are leading businesses, they're making decisions each day? What would be an insight you'd like to leave with them?
I think it's, if you're a leader of your business, less is more. Look at making one or two really important decisions each day rather than trying to make a lot of decisions. And look at empowering others to do more, and you do less. So you've got more time to think about your business and build relationships. And so less is more is something that I'd really encourage. And the second thing is I'd say keep an open mind. Just imagine that every person you meet every day, whether it's an employee or a consultant or a customer, you can learn from them. If you've got an open mind, every day you will learn. And you'll keep improving.
Stan, it's been an absolute pleasure. I really feel that we could chat for hours and hours
Me
and
too.
tap into your insights. But you're very generous with your time, and I think what I love about everything that you do in life, you've always made time to give back to your community. And I love how you said success is about achievement and fulfillment. Fulfillment is critical.
Absolutely. Fulfillment is different for everybody. For some people, it's spending more time with their family. For others, it's spending more time in leisure. For others, it's doing more charity work. For others, it's meditating. For others, whatever it is, just to make sure you balance it right. Because if you're just achieving all the time, you'll burn out. If you want longevity in business, you've got to balance achievement with fulfillment.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time, Stan Kontos.
Thank you, Natasha.
It's been a pleasure. At SA Leaders, we are all about collaboration and community. If you're curious to know more about how we help businesses and leaders just like you scale and grow beyond the glass ceilings, then visit our website at www.saleaders.com.au. And please don't forget to subscribe, share this podcast with your network, and write a review if you really enjoyed it. This has been an Audiosity production. I'm Natasha Milani, and I look forward to chatting with you next time. Happy connecting.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.